Sometimes in League, we tend to have moments in Ranked where we have big fluctuations in our level of play, and there's this snowball effect that happens when we get a streak, whether we stomp our opponents or we literally lose 20 games in a row. When we win a bunch of games in a row, we tend to feel really good about ourselves and our current level of play, and we start to think that we're getting better at the game. This perception of ourselves allows us to convince ourselves that we actually are getting better at the game, and then our level of play temporarily increases as a result. This is the topic of today's video, and this is a real concept not only in League of Legends, but in genuine professional sport called the hot hands phenomenon. We'll talk about what that is, why it's important to understand, and key takeaways of this concept for your solo queue journey. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a like and sub, but let's get going. So the hot hands phenomenon is the fundamental idea that's actually used in many different contexts outside of video games. It is a psychological bias which for any individuals that experience a successful outcome, they then have a greater chance of success in their future attempts in that activity. The term actually originates from basketball, in which a player that is shooting the ball supposedly has a higher chance of scoring their next shots if they also happen to get in their previous shots. In these cases, the individual is described to have hot hands. And of course, it doesn't stop there. There's a whole multitude of different applications and explanations for where the hot hands phenomenon can be used. Other sports, gambling, investing, politics, and even in games of League of Legends. The phenomenon basically explains that there is a tangible, positive effect for any player or participant in their relevant activity who has experienced a level of success or a series of subsequent successes. There is some research going as far as to say that the hot hands phenomenon literally increases the raw capability of people experiencing it in those contexts. Although this definitely needs more studies in order to investigate further, what's absolutely undeniable is that there is this perceived intangible boost in the performance of individuals that are experiencing it. People who experience hot hands in basketball or other sports claim to experience this mysterious feeling that just gives them extreme confidence in being able to hit their next shot. These people are literally so delusional and convinced that they'll hit their shot that they'll actually hit their shot. The same idea can be perfectly applied to League of Legends in that win streaks in the game provide players with this huge dopamine hit and gives them the idea that they can continue to win and that they are capable of manhandling a game by themselves. In both contexts, the premise is the same. There is a perceived and very noticeable psychological boost that these people are providing themselves, which allows them to almost trick themselves into playing at their highest level possible. This is a huge thing that gives League players this illusion that they're falling into. If you're on a streak, there really is a chance that something is clicking and you could be improving. But this does not eliminate the fact that while winning, you feel like you're playing well, and therefore you feel like you can play at a level that allows you to keep on winning. This also leads well into the emphasis of psychology in both applications of sport and in games like League. It cannot be understated how much of a mind game League actually is, and being able to manipulate and have control over your own mental state can actually exceed the importance of actually being good at the game. All understand the power of tilt and how that can really just completely hinder and dilute our ability to perform in a game. So inversely, feeling really good and thinking that you're really hot right now can also indicate really good performance. This phenomenon can also potentially lead to an unhealthy relationship with the game, depending on things that happen after you're in this position and what caused a certain outcome. For example, it's perfectly possible to get extremely tilted in a game where you felt like you were hot and played well but still lost. If you happen to also have a very process-oriented mindset, this might not bother you, but for most other players, this can be an extremely frustrating thing to have happen to you and can immediately break the effect. The key takeaway from understanding the hot hands phenomenon, specifically in relation to League, is the incredible potential for mental gymnastics to distract us from playing at our best. It certainly does feel good to go on these streaks, but at the end of the day, it's important to recognize that improving and focusing on learning key fundamentals in the game will be much more important long-term than any psychological feeling. I would, however, highly recommend looking into this concept to understand and control the feelings you get in your solo queue journey, and then taking control of how you feel can make you not only more consistent, but also consistently improve. As always, hope this video helps you guys out, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay fresh.